It was the 1980s. Gay and bisexual men were dying of HIV/AIDS. That includes many of Dr. Dick Smith's patients. Jim Kane survived.
And Dr. Smith was the doctor that treated me for HIV. And he did more than that, though. He treated the whole community.
Patients and colleagues call Dr. Smith a trailblazer and gay hero who had a large impact on LGBTQ healthcare.
We started this gay men's discussion group.
Dr. Smith spoke to CBC News as he prepared to die with medical assistance this week. The 80-year-old had pancreatic cancer. He also had a message for all.
My biggest thing that I want people to really get a grip on is that no minority of any kind is ever safe. Be aware that everything that has been achieved could be taken away in a single election.
He came to Manitoba from England in 1972, a few years after med school.
Whether it was internalized homophobia or whether it was a genuine shunning while I was in medical school, I had a very emotionally traumatic time. And from that, I think gave my tenacity not to give up on this job.
He met his husband, Doug Arell. They came out together, spent 46 years side by side, fighting for LGBTQ rights. Smith took part in the gay liberation movement in San Francisco. He helped HIV/AIDS patients through the epidemic in the 1980s and 90s when many other doctors feared the virus. Kane credits Smith with inspiring him to open up about being gay and about his HIV status.
I always remember Dr. Smith doing educational seminars for healthcare professionals with some of his colleagues so that he could reduce that stigma.
Dr. Smith dedicated his career, over half a century long, to providing healthcare in the LGBTQ community. Our Own Health Clinic behind me is part of that legacy.
I think he's looking over the rainbow at us.
Pharmacist Roger Tam has worked at Our Own Health Center for over a decade. In one of their final visits, Smith wore his Order of Manitoba medal, a symbol of all he did for his patients, like Tam. Smith treated him after he was assaulted about 3 decades ago.
And Dr. Smith was my savior. I went there and he embraced me, and it was nice to have a grandfather kind of figure to help me through my journey of rediscovery and being myself.
And the clinic hopes to continue that legacy of care in honor of Dr. Smith. Bryce Hoy, CBC News, Winnipeg.